Okay, I'll try to make this short because it's a little bit loud. Naomi fans tend to vibrate because the little bit of padding they put in the cases breaks down or whatever, and the fans get really dirty. So a lot of that noise is just vibration. If you push on the case, it kind of goes away, but I'll be replacing that fan anyway. What this video is about this board here. This is the Undamned USB Decoder. I've talked about it in my other videos. What I currently have it wired up into the JVS I/O from the connector there labeled B. I have player 1 button 1 going into the JVS I/O. So the JVS I/O pinout you can find online for player 1 button 1 goes to the Undamned decoder P1 for punch 1, because this is based on fight sticks, where this is commonly called punch 1, punch 2, punch 3, punch 4, and kick 1, 2, 3, and 4. Also, there's like start and select on the back here, as well as other buttons here for PlayStation 3. So all I did just to have a test of this is I've got this joystick goes into the Undamned USB decoder board. I've got the JVS I/O button punch 1 from player 1 going here, and this only supports one player. For 2 players I'd have to get another one of these. On this connector, this is my start connector, the red line is power, 5 volts, and it's pulling that again from the JVS I/O board where it has 5 volts out. Another one of these wires, the one next to it here, whatever color that is, dark brownish, that's ground. That's also coming from the JVS I/O. Over here the yellow wires are 5 volts and the white wires are ground. So I'm pulling 5 volts and ground to power the board. And then this other button is player 1 start. So it's wired up with 5 volts, ground, player 1 start, player 1 button 1 into the JVS I/O, which then goes connected to the Naomi. So the arcade stick plugs in, and I don't think I'm going to be able to show all this on the screen at the same time, although maybe I can. Not sure where it's going to focus, but you can see on the screen as I push this first button, it's changing on the screen. And I don't know if the video is going to show some lag or not, but I'm not seeing any offhand. I mean, I push the button and it seems to come on pretty much right when I push the button. So, very happy. And then over here on the back of this stick, I'm pushing the button and that's activating. That one is a little bit glitchy, and I think that's just because that's the button on the side of the case. Actually, now it's working pretty good now. When I first used it, it seemed to miss a press every now and then, but I'm sure if it's doing that, it's because of the buttons on this stick, which is a Street Fighter IV Standard Edition made in 2009 that I obviously bought used. Just got this recently. So I could start a game, and at this point, press the player 1 button. So that is very exciting for me, because that is a test that, yes, indeed, the Undamned board does work. I understand how to wire it. Very simple. Power, ground, and then it's got labeled the buttons and everything. If for some reason the buttons on this stick didn't match up with what they're labeled here, say for some reason this came up as button 2 instead of button 3, I could correct that simply by swapping the wires here. So if I pressed this button and on the screen it ended up showing I was pushing button 2, I could just swap the wires over there. Those do have, the Undamned boards do have a remap function where you can remap the buttons, but it doesn't save that information. So by hardwiring it differently, it would always be correct for this particular fight stick here. So very happy, like I said. I've got that working. Very easy to set up. It does use 5 volts. It pulls it from the I/O board, so when I get my Tucson Logic I/O board, I'm not sure if that's got a 5 volt out or not, so I might have to pull 5 volts directly from the Naomi, which is where this is coming from anyway. So the Naomi here on the end has this output that has 2 5 volt lines and 2 ground lines, and that's currently going into the JVS I/O because it needs to be powered. And then, like I said, these yellow wires are 5 volt out, the white are grounds, so that's how I get the 5 volt and the ground into the USB decoder here. So yes, excellent test, excellent functionality. Like I said, I know that I'm just looking at a test menu, I'm not playing a game, so as far as lag goes or anything, it's not a great test, but I think it should be fine. And also, part of the reason for that is this is just kind of a minimum setup right here. My last video where I showed the Naomi in the PC case, I'm filming this like the next day. And so yeah, that project has multiple mini projects involved in the total overall project, and this is one of them that I'm glad I had time to test today. My Tucson Logic board might be delivered today. It says it's due today, but it's not listed as out for delivery, so it might be tomorrow. The rest of the day I'm going to be helping a friend out, so I'm not going to have any more time to work on this today. I just got this up and tested this morning. So yeah, there you go. An undamned USB decoder. Takes a fight stick made for PS3, I think also PS4, Xbox 360, maybe Xbox One, I'm not sure. You'd have to look at the documentation to see all the sticks that it supports. Also, it's updatable firmware, so when he comes out with additional joysticks that it supports, you can upgrade the firmware on the board so it'll support more sticks if you have a stick that's currently not supported. Such as well, I was gonna, such as these that I 3D printed the case. These are using kit from eBay from China, where it comes with like 10 full-size buttons, a couple of the smaller buttons, a joystick, all the wiring, including the USB cable, and a USB encoder inside, which I think is the same as the one that's called by the name Zero Delay USB encoder. Anyway, these I do not believe will work with the Undamned decoder right now, but at some point he might add support for those. But obviously this would be a better stick to use than my 3D printed Chinese parts. This is a standard edition stick. I'll just talk about it briefly. I've never had a fight stick before. When I looked online, there's newer ones, there's older ones, there's so many of them out there, and just learning about the different options and everything. The basic thing is that this is a standard edition, which means it's made by Mad Cats, and it has their own brand of buttons and joystick, which are not that good. But the reason I bought this one, apart from the fact that I got it for a fairly good price, is the fact that it is super easy to 6 screws on the bottom, the plate comes off, then you have access to the buttons and the joystick, 4 screws, and unplug one connector, take this out, put a Sanwa stick in, plug it in, 4 screws, and you're good to go. And the buttons, the same thing. Quick disconnects, 2 per button. Just unplug the quick disconnects, pop this button out, put a Sanwa or Seimitsu button in, and you've got the high quality controls in this case, which I love the fact that it's a white case. And what I want to do is get custom art, which I found online. My test print didn't print full size, and I'm not 100% sold on this design. I don't like the white circles around the joysticks and the joystick hole and the button holes, but based obviously, like it says, on the Sega Astro City arcade cabinet, what I plan to do is get this, or a version that my friend made for me without the circles, printed out on laminated on the top and adhesive on the bottom. So peel this original sticker off, put this replacement on, and then order green buttons and a green ball top, which is what Player One uses on a Sega Astro City arcade cabinet. So it'll look like kind of like a custom Astro City arcade stick. So that's about it for this video. Successful implementation. Button, 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 button. Button, 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 button. Very happy. I'd be happier if this thing actually told you what button was what. That is what I have hooked up to the USB decoder as start. And this is Player One Button 1. Which it seems to me that should be next to that. Like maybe it goes start, up, down, left, right, but still I'm not convinced that this is button 1 is coming through as button 1. But like I said, I can just swap the wires on there and make it in whatever I need to do to make it button 1 work as button 1. I could also, if I wanted to, make this 1 and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I could not wire these up. I don't play fighting games, which is funny because I have a fight stick, so these 2 buttons I can't see myself ever actually using unless I'm playing a 4-button game and I wire it up as 1, 2, 3, 4, which I might do. But also 1, 2, 3, 4 might work. But I'll probably just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and just never use these buttons. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this one short. So there you go, successful test. Undamned USB decoder. You can buy them directly from him on some websites. I got this one from Paradise Arcade. They sell arcade parts. And I'm not being paid to promote them, but I've always had really good service, fast shipping, and everything I order is just what I order and arrives in great shape. So if you're looking to get one of these, or some other Japanese arcade parts, sticks, buttons, they have all kinds of things, give Paradise Arcade a look. Alright, that's it for this video.